crazy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Unraveling Podcast. Hello, Alyssa.
Hello. How's it going?
Today, it's good. I was
Good.
sick yesterday. We were supposed to record yesterday, and I was so
Dying.
sick. So,
Yeah.
so here we are today,
Yeah.
feeling much better.
Good.
So, um, today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about first. We want to start with a video.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking about like our words and what they mean. So, you want me to play that right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
At the Walmart, and I had a man that walked by us. And what did he say?
He was like, so we were just talking. He goes, I bet you, like, when they were younger, while we were standing there, we were like, what?
Okay, do you girls remember when people would walk by us when you were babies and they would say, you might not remember, but when they were little, there would be, every time I went to the store with 4 little girls, people would walk by me and they would go, oh, honey, you just, you want them to see you? Just wait until they're teenagers, just wait. And then they would say things like, oh, you have your hands full, and they would almost be so sad for me. And I would always look at them, and I would always say, I reject that. My kids are going to be great teenagers. I said it all the time. I would just kind of call people out on what they would say to me. And I always say, hey, listen, your words have the power of life and death. And so we were just laughing because this man looked at me right with
in
them.
front of us. And I was
And he was like, I bet you wish they were, they were probably better when they were younger. And I looked at him and I was like, what'd I say?
no, they're actually great.
I said, they're great teenagers. And he laughed.
He
and
said
he's
it multiple times.
He said,
and my mom's like, no, they're
He
actually
said, no,
good.
they were better when they were younger. And I said, no, I actually have 4 of them and they're great teenagers. And he was like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, and
But
just-
here's what I want to say. First of all, if you're a parent of young kids, don't let people tell you how your kids will be in the future, ever. Like, your words are powerful and so are other people, so reject it from them. Like, say it in their face and go, that's not true. I always would say my kids are going to be great, and they are great. They're not perfect, but they're incredible teens. Second of all, if you're one of those people, if you're one of those people that call out people in the store, then you should only say positive things. You should only say positive things to people, right? Yes. You encourage parents when you see them. You're doing a great job. Way to go. Like, oh, you're so adorable. How can I help you? Like, be an encouragement and reject those words that people speak on you because they are not true.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I just love that video because I'm sure both of us get this all the time. Actually,
Yeah.
I just did. I was gonna.
Oh,
I was
really?
gonna say, I literally this every single time. I mean, I got 4, well, 7 now, 7 and under. So, anyways, I went to Panero with them, and they're just being like so sweet. They just got back from Bible study with my mom, and they're telling me all about Bible study. They're eating. They're being polite. They're not being loud. And I'm like in the middle of feeding my youngest, and I could see this guy like stopped by our table and I could tell he was watching us, and I was just like preparing myself. And then I look up and he was like, oh, this is fun. And I was like, I said, actually it is. I said, they're great kids. They're a blessing. And he just was like, oh. And then I saw him walk out and he joined his wife, and she turned and looked at him. I don't know if she heard what he said, but it looked like she was scolding him. So I was like, seriously, like, I just don't understand why that's like a thing. And there are nice
It
people. I
definitely
have
is a
had some
thing.
nice people.
Yeah, it is so
But it's
weird.
weird.
But I love that of just being like, I reject that. Like, no, that's not going to be
Mhm.
what they are, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
even I was just talking with my parents when they were here and just talking about my oldest and kind of saying comments like, oh, I'm scared for his teenage years. And it's like, looking back, I'm like, no, like, I'm not going to say that
Mhm.
about him, you know? And it's like, it's just so normal and like common for
Yeah.
people to just say things like that. So it is like, that's something I'm really, really trying to work on, is like the way that I say things. And I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just, we have all these different phrases that we all say, and it's just like normal.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I think like for us, like right now, I think it's like we're in the thick of motherhood. So in like
Mhm.
for us, it's in motherhood that we're trying to work on this the most. But it's like in everyday life, like even like she was saying, like when you're out and about and you see strangers,
Right.
it's like, why don't we say the positive thing? Or even
Mhm.
like my oldest daughter, she always is complimenting people. And I feel like I've recognized that in her. And I'm like, I want to be better about that because, like, I want,
Yeah.
especially with girls, like, I want to teach my girls to be like, gentle and kind, especially like, as girls, it's easy to gossip and be negative
Mhm.
and say rude things, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's one thing I'm trying to work on is, like, when you see something, just say it, even if it's something small, you know? Yeah, so I'm just working on, like, just, like, the little things. I think I even shared this story with you, but, like, we were in Starbucks, and this girl just had a cute tattoo, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, your tattoos are so cute," and just, like, even saying something to her. Like, I just don't know why we don't, like we get nervous to, like, compliment people even, and it's like,
Mhm.
when people compliment me, it, like, makes my whole day, you know?
Literally.
So it's like, why don't we wanna do that to others when we know how it makes us
I
feel, you
know.
know?
It's so funny. I'll think things and I won't say them. And then I like think back and I'm like, I should have just said it. Like, why
Mhm.
wouldn't I say those things?
Yeah.
I'm very much like that, like with my kids or like with Chase. Like if I
Mhm.
think something, I always say it. But with anybody else, I don't know why. It's like
It's
we
'cause
should
we're,
just
like, nervous for a reaction, but I don't know who's gonna be upset with being told.
right. I guess just if you're like worried it's gonna be awkward or something, like you don't know how they're gonna react.
Yeah, it's just a good reminder for me, like, when I'm older and I see moms,
Yeah.
like, I wanna intentionally go out of my way to just be kind and, like, say
Mhm.
something. Because motherhood, like, it is so hard, but, like, to be told it's hard or your kids might are difficult, like, that's just not okay. Because it's like, it's hard, but it's also wonderful
Yeah.
and joyful.
I do feel like I used to get when, like, my daughter was a baby, I feel like I got a lot more of that, like, "Oh, you got your hands full." I got that
Mhm.
one all the time. But I feel like now that she's getting bigger and they're all kinda bigger, I've honestly heard a lot more positive, like, people will be like, "Oh, you have so many helpers." And I'm like, "Yes, I do." You
Oh,
know, it's
maybe
like, why can't
catching on. I
yeah,
hope.
so I don't know, I have noticed a lot more positive comments, but I'm like,
Mhm.
maybe it's just because she's not a baby anymore. So, like, you're still
Maybe.
in more of the baby phase, so
Yeah. Or even
I don't
I
know.
think I told you this story too, but this sweet lady and this was a rough parenting day. And I was just in line. I looked awful. The kids look cute, but I'm in line. I was tired. It was hard. And she was like, do you mind if I see your phone for a second? I was like, Okay. And then she's like, let me take a picture of you. You were just doing such a good job. And
I
I want you to
remember when that
remember this
happened.
moment right now. And I still have the picture. And I was like, I was like literally
I think
like
that's, like,
almost
the
in tears when I
sweetest
got
thing
to
I've
my
ever
car.
yeah, that's, like, so I've never
Uh,
heard of anybody doing that
I
before.
know. And it's
I
like
love that.
just even someone saying you're doing a great job.
Yeah,
Like, and it
that's all we
always
wanna
seems like
hear.
the times I've heard that always seem to be the days that I'm, like,
Yeah, you
struggling
need
when I'm out and about, yeah.
yeah,
So,
mhm,
anyways, just take a page out of this lady's book, like, rebuke it and just speak life over your kids. That's, like, for sure this
mhm.
year I've realized how important it is to, like, especially in your marriage or with your kids, like, to not use the nevers and the always, you know? Which is
Yeah,
so hard
which
to
is
do.
so hard.
Mhm. And I'll
It is
catch
hard.
myself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
parenting, I feel like especially when you're disciplining the same action all the time, that's
Mhm.
where the struggle is to not say those words, and it's like you
Yeah.
have to find ways to, like, rephrase that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think like, I was talking with my friend the other day about this, and she kind of her family is, like, really big on this, and so I was just kind of, like, asking, like, how it is for her and stuff, but
Mhm.
her kids are really small, so I feel like it is different as your kids get bigger, like, the older
Mm.
they get, because then when they're
Yeah.
so small like, my littlest one, she's 3, so it's like, I have a lot more
Yeah.
grace for her, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's just like, how do you handle these situations? And it is hard. It's just hard in those moments to remember that. But like if you have an issue, like don't claim anything. Like if you get anxiety, don't claim like I have anxiety.
Mhm.
Like I am dealing with this, but it's not who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like and
I'm
putting that
gonna
on
overcome
I'm
this.
gonna
Yeah.
overcome it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
and I that's just something I really, really tried to implement this last year, like on my life, or if my kids are struggling with something, be like,
Mhm.
you are not this. You are
Yeah.
struggling with this, but you can get better in this
Yeah.
area.
That's so
And I
good. Yeah.
think
That's crazy. Like, I wasn't gonna bring up my, I hate even using the term mental health because I feel like it's just thrown around so
yeah.
ridiculously now. But I do think that has been a big thing for me this year. I don't know if you guys haven't listened, we did a podcast with, um Bible Freaks and Jesus Geeks. I talked a little bit about it, but I am very much and people can disagree with me all they want, but For myself personally, I truly believe that he is enough. And I mean, Alyssa and our other best friend, they've heard me in my lowest lows, and I've seriously struggled. And I've told myself, I believe Jesus is enough for this. And I feel like just speaking that over and over, even talking to you guys, like, I know he's enough. I'm going to get through
Mhm.
this. I know he's enough. Like he has. I've gone, and yeah, it comes and goes, but it's like, I think, like you're saying, it's like I'm speaking the truth that he is enough. Like we know
Mhm.
that's truth. And I
Mhm.
think because of that, like, and I hate because it's like we live in a world of like the manifestation stuff, but it's like it's not manifesting, it's clinging to
But
the
the
power
Bible
in
claims
Christ, you
that.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not
So
by any doing of my own, it's that
no.
Christ is powerful enough and he's working through me and his truth is working through me.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole, it's like through the power of Christ alone. It's not
Yeah.
I'm manifesting this.
Right. I know. It is like so weird because people say that all the time, but I feel like that too. It's like we both have been going through things, and it's just like
Mhm.
I feel like it can be so easy to just like be defeated and
Yeah.
just not want to do anything. And it's like you have to just I think these are the moments that are sanctifying us and growing
Mhm.
us and making us realize like when we are weak, he is strong. And
Yeah.
just like taking it literally day by day. Like whatever you're
Mhm.
struggling with, make it through the day. Make it through
Yep.
the next day, and it's just like, but not whatever you're dealing with to just not talk all negative about it, be like, "This is
Mhm.
never going away." Like, I think
Mhm.
that's
I
what makes
can't
the
do this.
I
Yeah.
can't do this, just like God's gonna get me through this
Yeah.
day, you know?
Yeah. Which I
And
think you've
whatever
been a
it
really
is.
great example of that to me, of just like reminding me that it's just take it day by day because that's all we can
Literally.
do.
That's
And
all you
just
could
like
do.
it is crazy because on one of my lowest nights, I remember I just like broke down and I was like bawling to my husband and I was saying things like, I just can't keep doing this. I can't keep
Mhm.
doing this. And he's just like, okay, you need to stop and I'm going to pray over you. And he just prayed and spoke life over me. And it was that next day that I really had like a turnaround.
Mm.
And so there's just something to say about the power of prayer and just
Mhm.
seriously like reading his truth and like hiding it in your heart and like finding like your strength in that alone, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's not to say you can't have those times where you're just, like,
Mhm.
so defeated because that's, like,
Mhm.
you're a human, like, you're gonna
Yeah.
have those feelings. I've had lots
Yeah.
of those days. But
But
it's
it's
just
where do
like
you keep it?
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit in this, and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna, like, claim anything over myself, like, it is
Mhm.
something that will pass, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I just think, like, realizing
Mhm.
how much power our words have, you know? Like, even with my
Mhm.
kids, like, even the way they talk to each other, it's like, do you wanna put people down or do you want to
Mhm.
encourage them? And, like, how do you want people to feel that are around you?
Yeah.
You know? Like, how do you wanna make
Yeah.
people feel? Like, just and so then transferring that to yourself. How do I wanna
Yeah.
talk to my kids? And I don't
Mhm.
know, it could go so many different ways, but
For sure, yeah.
I feel like it's such a positive, like, thing to change in your life, and it's hard because
It's
it's
really
like
hard.
there's so many different ways that it could go.
Yeah,
And just catching
definitely.
yourself. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you wanna read, from
Yeah.
Numbers? What was it again? I'm gonna look it up too.
Numbers 14. So my sister
Okay.
actually pointed this out to me the other day, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's so crazy." Okay. So it's the Israelites, um, are complaining in the desert in Numbers. And so they say, or Numbers 14:2, it says, "And all the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The whole congregation said to them, 'Would that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would that we had died in this wilderness.'" So, like, they're just complaining. We all know that this is what they did. In the
Mhm.
wilderness, they're just complaining. And then in verse 19, Moses is talking to God and he says, "Please pardon the iniquity of this people according to the greatness of your steadfast love, just as you have forgiven this people from Egypt until now." I always thought it was cool when I was reading back through this again, just how many times I marked it, like, every time Moses would, like, go and plead on their behalf,
Mm,
you know?
mhm.
I thought that was really cool. So
Which is a
then
good reminder as a parent too, like,
yeah.
we should be pleading on their behalf, yeah.
Yeah, because there were times that it not in this one didn't really go their way, but, like, where God changed what he did for them
Mhm.
because of what Moses said, so that's so
Yeah,
true, like, pleading for our kids,
yeah.
that's a good one. Um, but then in verse 28, he says, Say to them, as I live, declares the Lord, what you have said in my hearing I will do to you. Your dead bodies shall fall in this wilderness, and all of your number, listed in the census from 20 years old and upward, who have grumbled against me, not one shall come into the land that I swore I would make you dwell, except Caleb and Joshua.
Wow.
So, I just thought that was so interesting because it's like they were like, you should have just let us die. And he's like, okay, like if that's what you want. So it's like, I
Mhm.
just thought that was such a cool example of like the words that we say
Yeah.
matter. You know, like
Mhm.
they really do matter. And it's like if we're just always grumbling and complaining, it's like, I don't know. It's
Yep.
just like you can be in a really hard situation. Like right now, I'm not in a place that I want to be health wise, and it can get overwhelming, but I'm not going to sit here and just be like, I wish I wasn't alive. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
just to choose life and to choose, like, okay, remember I was talking about a song and it always says the same quote and I couldn't remember what it is. Like I hear it
Mhm.
in different worship songs. It now I'm gonna blank on it again. But it says like life is worth the living. Like it says something like that. Life is
Mhm.
worth the living. And that like sticks with me, you know, because it's like life might not always be great, but like it's worth living. Like God put us here
Mhm.
for a purpose and he's gonna make it good even when it feels hard. And
Mhm.
so I just, you know, it's like we can relate to them. Like sometimes life is not fun and you just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Mhm.
But don't say things like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I just
Yeah,
thought
and I
that was
think
really
that's why
cool.
he's always telling us to be thankful and, like, remember
Remember.
remember
Mhm.
the things he's done for us, which,
Mhm.
like, I think he even says that to Israel at one point, like, "Have you forgotten, like, all I've done for you?" or
Yeah.
something, and it's like, I think that my mind just went
It reminds me of the song that song "Oh You Praise" from Elevation Worship. I don't know if you're like familiar with that song.
it sounds familiar. I mean, I
Our
do
best
listen
friend
to Elevation.
So our best friend's mom actually, went through breast cancer last year, and she made it through. The video that she posted about her mom making it through was a song. It just made me bawl my eyes out every time
Weep.
yeah, every think about it. But they,
Yeah.
like they'll play it at church sometimes, and it makes me cry so much because it's just, like it's just talking about remembering, like I'm gonna cry right now,
Mhm.
all the things that he's brought you through, you know? It's
Yeah.
like to remember that and just, like, think about all the things you didn't feel like you could get through, but, like, you
Mhm.
got through them.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to remember those things, so
Yeah, and it's just also I think it's a lot once you remind yourself to think about all the things you're thankful for, you're blessed with, I think it's just so much easier to get out of that place of,
Mhm.
because you remember, like, we have so many blessings, like, yes, Alyssa and I both have these things, they feel like big things that we're, like, going through, but we also
Yeah.
have a lot of amazing things going on in our life, and it's like,
Mhm.
to just focus on this one hard thing
Right.
and not give God the praise and glory for all the blessings that we don't deserve that he's given us, it's like
Mhm.
I just love that. I always love this verse. You've been saying it, but Philippians 2:14 through 16. I'll read all the way through 16. But do everything without grumbling and arguing so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky as you hold firmly to the word of life. And then I will be able to boast on the day of Christ. I did not run or labor in vain. There's just so many things in that verse that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, when we aren't arguing and complaining, when we seek to be more thankful and recognize his blessings, like, we're blameless and pure. Like, we stand out from the world, from a wicked generation or crooked
Mhm.
generation in this verse, and then shining like the stars in the sky, like, because it is like a breath of fresh air when you're around someone who's always finding the positive things,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I wanna be that person. I'm trying to teach my kids to be those kind of people, but
Yeah.
it's hard. But,
It is hard.
um, but I
But
just love
it
that.
just, like, makes things so much easier when you have somebody who's like, "It's gonna be okay, like, you're gonna get
Mhm.
through this," and,
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to if you're around somebody who's like, "Oh, this sucks." Like,
Mhm.
all the
Yeah.
time about everything, it's like,
Yeah.
that's just not like what it says in there, it's like, we wanna come off like, we want, non-believers to see us
Mhm.
and see something different in us, that even when
Mhm.
we're going through hard things, we could still be joyful,
Yeah.
you
Which
know?
is why I think too, even just going back to that video and being like, if you're a mom and you're out in public and someone says that to you, what a contrast for someone to come at you and say something negative about your family and you to come back and say, because like,
Mhm.
there's been times when I've just been like, you know, I walked
Oh,
away.
absolutely, yeah.
I just don't wanna deal with it, but the
Yeah.
times that I've stood up for my kids, also, like, how good does that feel as a child to hear your mom
Mm.
stick up for you and be like, "No, you're not gonna talk about my kids like that,"
And
you
you
know?
can see, like, in that video, you can see how close those teenage girls are to their mom,
Yeah.
which you don't always see that you know?
Mhm.
And so it's like, yeah, like
Clearly,
what you're
she's doing something
saying.
right.
Yeah, like clearly
Yeah.
she's doing something right. And I just thought you can see their bond just in that short clip of them. And
Mhm.
I just thought that was
Yeah.
really sweet. And yeah, such a like, that is how you should be because look at their relationship compared to people who are like, oh, my teenager.
Mhm.
They're probably not that close with their kids. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, so the verse that like got us started on this is obviously Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who
Mhm.
love it will eat its fruit. That is definitely a verse that I've had my kids memorize. I feel like I'll do it every now and then. That'll be one of their memory verses because I just
Mhm.
think that's so positive.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then there's a few in Proverbs that I wrote down. Proverbs 12:18. This is kind of like a weird verse, but at the end it makes sense. There is one whose rash words are like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. And so it's
Mm.
kind of like what we're saying. It's like if you're around somebody who's like positive, it's healing to you. Like seriously,
Yeah.
it can make you
Yeah.
feel so much better. And then Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. So it's just like all
Mm.
these things. There's a lot in Proverbs. There was probably more. I just didn't keep
Yeah.
going.
I
But I
can
just
you
think
reread the other one? Not the last one you read, but the one before that?
12:18. There is one whose rash words are like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise brings healing.
I just love that. I just was like, okay, I do a lot wrong in parenting, but there's this one, I
Same.
told you about this too, but so my oldest daughter, she's the type that she has like these panic attack like kind of things when she gets in trouble.
Mm, yeah.
And so the way we discipline her is very different than my
Mhm.
son, and I have to like calm her down and like I basically have to like hug her until she can calm down and then we can talk. But the one day she was so worked up and like I couldn't hear myself. I don't even know if she could hear me, but I was just holding her. I said, I'm gonna pray over you. And I was literally just like it had to be the Holy Spirit, but I was like, God, you need to like please remind me of verses I know that are gonna comfort her. And I was just praying them and declaring them over her.
Mhm.
And she just like eventually calmed down and she looked at me and I said something about how she's just like a daughter of the king and she's precious and all these things. And she just looked at me like right in the eyes and just like hugged me so tight. Like, and it was just like
Aw.
one of those things where it's just like what you're saying, it's like that healed her in some way. She had just gotten in
Mhm.
trouble. She thought we were so when you're a kid and you get in trouble, you think your parents are like so mad at you, like,
I
you
know.
know. But I was just reminding her like you are loved and you are cherished and
Mhm.
I just thought and I was just so thankful because I was like, "Lord, I don't even know what to do anymore." So I was just kinda letting him take over. But it
Yeah.
was just like just to see that look on her face, like, to remember that she is loved and that God made her and she's special and I don't know,
Yeah.
makes me wanna cry. It was just really
Yeah.
sweet.
That is so sweet. I
And I
know, I
wish
feel
I
like
would do
that's
that more often.
probably I know.
It's like I know the right thing to do and I still, just, like, mess up all the time.
It's
Don't we
so
all?
hard. I
It
know. I
is.
think that's probably how my daughter will be. She's so little right now, so kind of hard to tell, but if I even say, like, "No, you don't do that," she's
Oh my
crying,
gosh.
and I'm like she used to be super sassy and just keep doing it anyway, so now
But now
I
she's
say
turning the
anything,
corner.
she just starts crying, and I'm like, "Okay, it's okay. I'm not, like, mad at you, but you just
Yeah.
you can't
It's
do
so
that."
funny. Mine and Alyssa's youngest daughters are both they're, like, so similar
So
because
similar.
my youngest is so sassy sometimes, but then the other times will be like last night, she literally pulled a cookie, a half-eaten cookie out of the trash and started eating it. I said, "We do not do that. That is disgusting." And she just started bawling,
Oh
like
my god.
and I was just like, "It's okay. It's just
Yeah.
gross." Like,
Oh my gosh, I
but
love that.
other times she'd do it, yours
Yeah.
is done. She'll, like, look at me and just keep eating it. So it's
Oh,
just like,
yeah. I mean,
kids are
she still
wild.
does that sometimes. She'll just give me a look, like, she has this certain look that she gives me, and then she'll just keep doing it, and she'll be like, "I'm just
Uh
gonna do it." And I'm like, "Excuse me?"
I just love, like, every time I see videos of your youngest, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, they're, like,
The
seriously
same.
identical.
It is
That's so
so funny.
funny. Oh,
I know, I
man.
love that. But those are my verses that I had for that. I don't know if you had anything else
I
that you
don't have
wanted to
any
talk
more
about.
to add, but I
Okay.
really, yeah. I just think it's like, it's funny because Alyssa and I tend to learn a lot of the same things at the same time, but I feel
We
like that's been
do.
a big one for us where it's just like really recognizing how important our words are, and just like just being slow to speak. That's what I've been trying to work on with my kids
Oh,
is
that's
slow
a
to
good
speak,
one.
slow to
Slow to speak.
become
Yeah.
angry,
Mhm. That's a good
and
one.
like because gosh, it's like the amount of times we all say things just in the like moment because it feels good and then we regret it. It's like
Ugh.
if we could just learn how to hold our tongue,
I know, and it's like we're
we'd save
teaching our
ourselves.
kids and we're like, "Why would you say that?" But then it's
Yeah,
like, I literally can't be
yeah,
quiet either, so
I know. I know.
isn't it so crazy? I feel like as a kid, you just think your parents, we probably said this, are like they just have it so together, and then you
Mhm.
get here and you're like, "Okay, when is this gonna happen to me?"
I know.
Still waiting.
Like, when am I gonna learn how to be like the
I
perfect
know.
parent? It just
I
never knows.
know.
But
I guess it's never gonna
which
happen,
is
but
why we have to go to the Lord every day. But
I know, I don't even know how parents do it without Jesus because I feel like I literally don't know what I would do.
I don't know. Like, what's funny is like our generation, though, I feel like moms were like, not, well, not my mom, but parents were a little more crazy.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they yell a little more. And now we're all like, I'm not like I don't believe in gentle parenting, but I think our generation is so much more like,
Oh,
let's talk
yeah.
about this. Let's,
Yeah. I know
I
my
think,
parents probably see me parenting and they're like, "What are you doing?"
right?
I'm like, "I think it's right." I don't know. I know,
Um,
it's so hard. I feel like
hard.
we won't know till our kids are grown and,
I know. And then they're going to be like, you traumatized me.
"You talk to me so much. Why do we have
I
to talk
just
about
saw
everything?"
Alice just showed me this video, and the dad was, like, pretending to be his kids in therapy, and it was like, "My parents love me too much. They went to every game. They bought me all my favorite things," and I was like, "Oh my gosh." That's
It's
so
so
that
true.
generation, though. That's crazy.
It's so much, yeah, but honestly, my parents were very much like, "Talk it out," so I think that's why I am the way that I am, and
Yeah.
Chase is like, "You've said it enough times," and I'm like, "No, I'm gonna keep talking about it."
Oh my gosh. I'm really trying. I didn't grow up talking about things and
Yeah,
speaking like my husband did, so
so funny.
he's trying to work on me, but it's hard.
I know, it's
Between
like
Alyssa and him, I'm learning. I'm getting there.
yeah. I know, I make you talk about everything. You're like, "I don't wanna talk about this." I'm like,
I'm
"We're
like,
gonna
"Let's
talk about it."
just move on."
I just can't help it, it's just in me, okay?
No, it's good. I've told Alyssa so many times, I'm like, this has been good for me. I need to learn how to talk." Uh,
Oh my gosh. Okay, so our next topic that we're moving on to, literally not related to words at all, so
well, kind
but
of, because it's like we
I
notice
guess.
the changing of words. So
Okay,
while you're talking about it, I'm gonna look up the verse I wanna look up.
okay, that was a good transition. Mine's like, next topic. You're like, this kind of goes.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
so
see.
anyway, I kind of learned about the Septuagint this week,
Mhm.
which is, I actually ordered one. So I've been reading it the last couple of days. So in
I
this is
just
where
was
I thought was
telling
so,
Alex I need to get one.
yeah, you need to order it. It's just on Amazon. I know
Yeah, I
everything
need to
takes
get
forever
one.
for you, but
Yeah,
okay.
that's
So
okay.
in the beginning of the Septuagint that I bought, it has like a few pages of like how it was made. Okay. And what I
Mhm,
thought was really interesting is it says it's been made directly from the Greek, and
mhm.
it describes very like much how they got here. So it's like if it uses, let me just read it because it said it very weird, but and I
Now this
thought
is what they read in Orthodox?
Orthodox churches read this today.
Okay.
And what I really liked about it is it has like all the Apocrypha in it. So it
Mhm,
has Enoch, it has Esdras, it has, I mean, all the different ones. There's a lot
mhm,
I didn't even know. It has like the wisdom of Solomon, the wisdom of Sirach, Maccabees. It has kingdoms. Have you ever heard of that? There's
mm-mm.
4 books of kingdoms. I've never even heard of that.
Is that like just the history of the kingdoms?
It's like a book in here, like it's like a book of the Bible.
Hmm,
I just thought it was really weird.
interesting.
So I started over in Genesis, and I'm just going to read through here because I've already noticed a few differences. But let me see if I could find where it said that. If I can't find it, I'll just try and I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. I can't find it. Okay. So it was just saying that they tried to write it as close to the Greek as they could. So it said
Mhm.
like if it was a normal Greek phrase, they would give you a normal English phrase. If it was an
Mhm.
awkward Greek phrase, it would give you an awkward English phrase. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so they're
So
not
it's
coming
like
up with this phrase to
they're not trying to
match
change
it, they're just trying to
if it's
write what it
weird,
says.
they kept it weird, you know?
Okay,
So
yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. And then it also says when New Testament writers are quoting Jewish scripture, that's what they're quoting. They're quoting the Septuagint because that is like the original
Mm.
Bible that was all the way written back then. So I thought that was so cool. And then it said it was most likely the Bible that the Apostle Paul and used when he's referencing the Old Testament, and it said Josephus.
Hmm,
So I
okay.
just thought it was very interesting. So I already
That's
noticed
interesting.
in my Bible study, we're going over all of Genesis. And when I went this week, I didn't do all of my reading. And so they were talking about it. That was like our message was on the chapters that I didn't read.
Mhm.
Because we have to read like 7 a week, okay? It's a
For your
lot of
Bible study?
reading. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
so much
wow.
reading. So I didn't get through all of it. So I went back and I wanted to read what they were talking about. And I just thought it was really interesting. Okay. So, like, I already noticed a difference. They were talking about in the message, she was like, there's this, um, so remember when Jacob tries to marry, is it Leah or Rachel?
Mhm. First
And
he tries to marry Rachel, but
and
gets
then
stuck with
he ends
Leah.
up having, okay. So
Mhm.
Laban, the dad,
Mhm.
later on, he ends up going he gets mad at Jacob and he's going after him. And anyway, so it says God came to Laban in a dream and he's telling him, this is what they're teaching at church. Don't say anything good or bad to him. That was the phrase in our
Mhm.
normal Bible, okay? So that's what they're talking about. And everybody's like, oh, that's so strange. Like, why would God say specifically good or bad? And so that
Mhm.
stuck with me because everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
And then I read it yesterday morning in the Septuagint, and it doesn't even say that. It just says, like, don't say anything. I think it said good. And I was like,
Hmm.
so it's already different. And I'm like,
And
this
just,
is
like, why? That's what
why? So
'cause,
I'm
like, some
like,
of them make sense why they change things, like the other
yeah.
s passage we're gonna go through, it kinda makes sense if they wanna twist things, but,
Hmm.
like, something like that, like, what's
Yeah.
why?
So now I'm like, I wish this would just take me way too much time, but I wish I could read one chapter, like
Yeah,
compare
of
every
each,
single
yeah.
chapter just to see. Because I'm like, that is the first time I'm reading in here and I've already noticed a difference. So
Yeah, I would really
like,
like
that's
to
very
get one
weird.
and look at I mean, because I already do that. I told you my Bible that I have is NIV, but
Hmm.
I prefer KJV. I don't wanna give up my Bible, you know? It's just like I know
I
where everything is,
know. I
but I
know.
prefer New King James Version now. So, like,
Mhm.
when I'm reading, I typically will, like, go back
Mm.
and look in there, but now I
It's
wanna
sad
read
to get
this
a new
too.
Bible because you have everything marked
I
and you have to, like,
know.
restart, but then it's kind of fun because then I feel like sometimes you see different things
You're not just
than
looking at your old stuff and yeah,
yeah, like, it almost makes
that's
you, like,
true.
see different things.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I, like, almost don't wanna read the Septuagint because I just got this other new Bible and started marking it, I'm like, I'm basically restarting, but it's only the
Mhm.
Old Testament. But I just really like
Oh, so you don't have oh, you do so the passage I wanna go over, I want you to read it too because 'cause I'm curious
okay.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just Old Testament.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
I just thought it was so interesting.
So the Septuagint isn't it's just Old Testament and then Old Testament apocrypha books or
Yeah.
certain apocryphal
Yeah, so it's just
books.
interesting
Okay.
because it's like these are all the books that they had. I really like that
And are
2nd
they in
Esdras is in it.
chronological
No.
order?
I
Okay.
know I looked at that, but they're not.
Okay.
But I'm, like, really excited to read it. I'm just gonna read it through, although I should look up the chronological order too, but I wanna read
Yeah.
it with all the apocrypha books. Okay, so this is what I was telling you. I think it's so crazy because okay, so in the Septuagint is all these apocryphal books that we do not
Mhm.
read in our daily
Yeah.
reading, and
Mhm.
it's like, what if we are supposed like, we don't read them in our daily reading of the Bible
Mhm.
because 'cause they're not in there, and we kind of feel like, "Oh, maybe they're not from God," but it's like, what if they are supposed to be in there and everybody
Mhm.
just took them out, and it's like, we're missing out now because we're not reading these all the time
Yeah.
Because I don't ever personally read the Apocrypha in place of my Bible.
Yeah, me
I don't know
either.
if you do. So it's
No.
like an extra. So if I have extra time that day,
Mhm.
like I'll read the Apocrypha or
But you're
whatever.
saying, like, what if we are meant to be reading it
Yeah, what if we're
daily
meant
like
to
that?
be reading
Mhm.
it on our daily reading? Like, I
Yeah.
just think that's a crazy thought.
I just have such a hard time now, like, now knowing a lot of the things we know. It's just
Mhm.
so a lot of them were taken out of the canon at the Council of Nicaea, I think. I don't know if that's how you
Mhm.
say it. I'm pretty sure it's that
Mhm.
council. And it's just like that was still ran by men. And it's like it'd be different if it was a council with the apostles who walked with Jesus and were the
Yeah.
ones who were in Acts who had the Holy Spirit come upon them. Like, I think I would be able to trust that more. But
Mhm.
because it was like so much, like, like so much down the road from when Jesus was here, I don't know. It's just like we're trusting men at the end of the day,
Mhm.
So it's like I feel like it, and we've said this before, I think, but what always gets me is that like pastors will recommend all these like books by like theologians and stuff, but if you mention the like apocryphal books, they're like, "Oh, I don't know." And it's like, what's the
Mhm.
difference? It's still the books you're suggesting still aren't of the Bible,
Right.
so that part just always gets me. It's like, what does it matter?
I
Like,
know. It is
I
very
don't know.
weird. I don't know. I'm just like so curious now, and I just want to read all of them. I've never read Maccabees.
Yeah, I'd like to read Maccabees because that's the one in between the New and or the Old and New Testament.
Is that the
So
only one?
I don't know that I just know that one for sure, but I just feel like it'd
Okay.
fill in a lot of gaps and things.
So,
So
okay, I don't know if you've heard this before. My sister always says that Maccabees is where Catholics get the idea. Oh, what is it that she says? Have you ever heard anything about this?
mm-mm. But it would make sense because it's the
I
Catholics who
don't know.
still
It's
follow it.
something that they do. I don't know if it's the confessional or no, I think
Mm.
it's the praying to the saints. I don't know. Something that the
Hmm.
Catholics do, they said they get from the Maccabees. So I'm very
Hmm.
curious to read it and kind of see
Yeah,
what's in there. I've never read it, so I have no idea.
interesting. It's really
Yeah.
interesting where all these different like man-made things come from. These like
Mhm.
traditions, like even the confessional. Like I don't
I
know.
know. There's a lot of
Um.
like weird things, but it's interesting how many Christians go to Catholicism because it
Mhm.
it seems like right off the bat there's things that just aren't biblical. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's funny talking about things that aren't biblical. I always thought that Hanukkah this what's wild is I grew up in a Christian home, Christian school, went to church, and I thought Hanukkah was like I knew it was like a Jewish holiday, but I thought it was based on like biblical stuff.
I would have
And it's
guessed the same
literally
thing.
not. It's what's so like our first probably 2 years of marriage, we already had my oldest. So I was like, I think we should celebrate Hanukkah, not like with the gifts and stuff. I was like, I think we should teach our kids about it because it was, it has to do with Jesus. That was my
Uh-huh.
thought process. So we had the what is it, the menorah, the 8 candle thing.
Oh, well, yeah.
I've since thrown all this out,
Okay.
obviously. But this is because I thought it was biblical.
Yeah.
But now, like it comes from the Talmud. So it's like
Oh, that's
it's
interesting.
yeah, and I think like I don't think there's anything like
Yeah.
explicitly wrong with it, but
Right.
the fact that I wasn't even aware, I thought it was based on biblical texts. And it might
Yeah.
let's see, let me look it up if there's any biblical reference. What's it called again? I'm blanking on it. Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Let's see. No, yeah, it's in um says it's in the New Testament, but it doesn't give any scripture.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, the Feast of Dedication. So I guess that's what they consider Hanukkah. So maybe it is, but like all the traditions of how to go about it, I think is in the Talmud. So if we're wrong
Mm.
about this, just let us know. You don't got to be mean about it. I'm just saying
Yeah.
now I'm realizing like, okay, it wasn't so much this like, I mean, I guess if it's a feast, maybe, but I'd like to look into is John 10:22 speaking about the same exact tradition of
Mm.
Hanukkah, the way that Judaism has created it to be.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I just
that
thought it
is
was
really
funny because it's
interesting.
like, how little do I even know of what I think I know, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I know, that is
Um,
funny.
So I'm going to bring up Daniel 9. I had to do my son had a Bible study like assignment that was in Daniel 9. And as I'm reading
I'll pull it
it
up in
with
here.
him, in his version, he has the ESV. As I'm reading it with him, I was just got so confused. So if you read Daniel 9, if you've listened to our past podcast, we went over Daniel 9, how specifically, let me just share screen real quick. Specifically, these verses, they're obviously talking about the Daniel prophecies, but this verse in ESV, I will read it and then I'll bring up the King James. Oops, wait. Okay. So I think from 24 to 27 is where I'll pretty much be, Alyssa.
Okay.
Um,
24.
let me zoom in a little too. Okay. Okay, so I'll read it real quick. Let me look and make sure. So let's start at um I'll just start at 24. Yeah. Okay. So 70 weeks are decreed about your people and your holy city to finish the transgression, to put an end to sin and to atone for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal both vision and prophet, and to anoint a most holy place. Know therefore and understand that from the going out of the word to restore and build Jerusalem to the coming of an anointed one. So let's put a pin in it there. Remember and look at verse 25 right now. Anointed one is in lower cases, a prince in lowercase. There shall be 7 weeks, and for 62 weeks it shall be built again, with squares and moat, but in a troubled time. And after the 62 weeks, an anointed one shall be cut off and shall have nothing. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Its end shall come with a flood, and to the end shall be war. Desolations are decreed. So let me look up now. I hope now I'm reading this and I'm feeling even more confused. So maybe we can just, in general, talk about it. I am so curious now what um, the Septuagint says about it. So
Yeah. Okay.
let me find the New King James real quick.
I wonder if they have the Septuagint on here. I'm curious.
Oh, maybe, yeah. So 70, 24 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness. Sorry, I just skipped to 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah, the Prince, in all caps, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks till it's built again. Why is it not letting me scroll down? Hold on. I got to scroll down for you guys so you
So
can
the
see the
other
rest of
one
it.
just said
It said Prince in
just
lowercase
Prince.
and anointed one
Oh,
in lowercase as well,
interesting. Okay.
which is, I mean, for most people, that's significant because obviously if it's a uppercase, one, it says Messiah and it's uppercase. Obviously in the Bible, that's referencing Jesus.
Jesus, yeah.
So then verse 26, and after the 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself and the people of the prince who is to come. So notice now we have the lowercase prince, which is where, like, if you want to think of an antichrist, that is it. But it's saying Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. So that's referencing his death and resurrection, right? He's going to be cut off and sacrificed. The prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, which would be 70 AD. Until the end of the war, desolations are determined. Okay, then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, but in the middle of the week, he shall bring, in all uppercase, an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of abomination shall be one who makes desolate.
You know what's
Even
funny?
until the consummation. Like it says again, and on the wing of abominations shall be one in lowercase. So these are two different people, but when you read an ESV, because they put all of them in lowercase, you are let me
It's
come out of this.
confusing.
Yeah. Let me stop sharing.
And then it's just, oh, never mind.
But right, like, and so I'm reading this and I'm reading his version. And I'm like, when I read it from his with the lowercase, there's no distinction that this is talking about two different people, which is where we lose sight of, sorry, there's something up there. That's why, this whole idea of this part of prophecy where the Antichrist comes in the middle of the tribulation and he's cut off. And it's like, but if you look at this in the KJV,
Uh-huh.
it's very clear that there's two people they're talking about. The one who's going to come and destroy and make desolate Jerusalem and the temple, and then the one who's going to be the sacrifice, and he's going to bring the healing for not for himself, but for us.
Mhm.
And it's just like that. It's just like blows my mind how translations and is that intentional? That's what me and Alyssa were getting to when we were like talking is like, is that intentional that these newer versions are worded that way and that the upper cases are taken away? The word Messiah is taken away because they have this idea of prophecy that there's the 7-year tribulation, which again, good luck finding that and
Right.
there, good luck finding the 2,000-year gap in
Mhm.
scripture. But it's like when you take it all down to the lower cases, you are able to like weave in these man-made prophecies of this antichrist is the one who comes and the third temple
Mhm.
has to be here because the antichrist has to come
Mhm.
to cut off sacrifices. But like, doesn't it make so much more sense? We know our king came, died, sacrifices were ended.
Mhm.
So wouldn't it make more sense that this is talking about Jesus Christ? And if you look at the older versions, it clearly says the Messiah, the
Yeah,
anointed one in
that's
all caps.
crazy.
And I
Like
was just like, it was the first time I saw it because I'm not really. I know there's a lot of people who are picky on the versions, um, but that was the first time reading the different versions that I realized the problem that's happening. Because it's like
Mhm.
it's very easy to understand the prophecies, in my opinion, especially in this particular one that's debated a lot. If you look at KJV, but if you look at that ESV version, you could totally be like, "Oh, this is only talking about one person, and it's all
Mhm.
lowercase, so you're not going to assume it's Christ." So I just thought that
Right.
was interesting.
That is interesting. I'm trying to see. Okay, so you were reading in verse 25. I'll
Yeah,
just read the
25 to
from
26.
Okay. It says, "You will know and understand and be cheerful that you will find commands to respond, and you will build Jerusalem, the city for the Lord." That's all it says.
Oh,
It
wait,
doesn't
read
even
it
talk.
again? Say it again.
You will know and understand and be cheerful, and you will find commands to respond, and you will build Jerusalem, the city for the Lord. And then it says,
That's Daniel 9, verse 25.
yeah, that's verse
Wow.
25. It doesn't say anything about the Messiah or Prince. And then
Hmm.
it says in the next verse, it says, "And after 77 and 62, an anointed one, lowercase, will be removed and will not be, and a kingdom from among the nations will despoil the city and the holy place along with the anointed one, again lowercase. And his end, lowercase, will come with the destructive anger at the time of the consummation. There will be war upon war, and the covenant will
Which
be made strong for many."
still to me, so even if you take Jesus out of that, like breaking
Uh-huh.
who he came in the middle and did put it into sacrifices, that verse, the second part that you read, is still indicating that 70 AD, in my opinion, was the desolation,
Mhm.
the war upon war. Like,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's definitely talking about that. "And the covenant will be
I
made
wonder
strong,
why
for
that
many
part of
will
the
recover again."
Daniel prophecy isn't in the Septuagint, which honestly kind of makes sense too, because I'm pretty sure the Catholics who you are typically the ones who read the Septuagint, right? I'm pretty sure, again, I could be wrong, so correct
Well, it's the
me.
Orthodox churches that use the
Orthodox. Okay.
Septuagint.
But
Yeah.
a lot of them are not, they're not futurist and dispensationalists. So to them, that like that verse that's in there about the coming in the middle of the week and putting it into sacrifices, like
Mhm.
that's what the dispensationalists use for the antichrist. And I don't think that the Catholic or Orthodox churches believe I don't think they believe in all that futurist like
They
that stuff. So
I know for sure Catholics don't, because I had just looked it up. I'm not really sure
yeah.
what I wonder what the Orthodox Church
Hmm.
thinks about it.
I don't know. Well, that's very interesting. But it
I
just
know.
made me like really like when I realized that, I was like just so alarmed. Excuse me, because I'm just like that makes a huge difference when you're reading it. At least for me. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know.
No, it does. That's where it's so interesting, and, like, I just want to read, like, the most accurate one, because it's like I mean, just learning about the Schofield Bible, it's like they put commentary in there, and they're doing things to
Mhm.
make you think a certain way. And
Mhm.
like we've always said, why did they take out Second Esdras? Because to
Mhm.
me, it's letting us
Prove, yeah.
know that there is going to be a little season time and there is going to be
Yeah.
a final battle, and it's giving you more information and it's
Mhm.
making you think. So it's like, I'm just like, I told my husband, I was like, I just don't get how like people don't want to research. I
Mhm.
love researching all this stuff. Like
Mhm.
I always want to like find out like what is the closest to the original. Like I don't know. I just like I want to read what God had for us, and like we've always said, like Satan can do things with the Bible, but he can't take away the gospel, right? Like that's the most
Mhm.
important part.
Yeah.
So he's
And
not
by
going to take
doing
that
things to the
away.
gospel, it's like it's not even necessarily that he's like in this case, he didn't take any of the verses out. He just did
Mm,
little changes by
mhm.
changing an uppercase to a lowercase. Like that
Right.
is significant because
Yeah.
then you're reading about technically there's two princes in there, but one's uppercase and one's lowercase. But when you read it in that version, they're both
That's
lowercase. So why
so
wouldn't we think they're the
interesting.
same person?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just makes me want to stick to reading KJV.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much more difficult. And again, I'm not one of those like snobs about different versions. There are some that I'm like, okay, really? Like I used to read the Message in high school.
I remember you read that in high school.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I didn't. I feel like I got a good amount of encouragement, but the Message is pretty different. Like
I've
what
never
it's
read it.
saying.
I just remember like you like we'd talk about things and you'd have that.
Mhm.
I always thought it was really cool, but I feel like for a high schooler, like it's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how different it is.
It's hard. I'd have to read it again, but I don't read that version anymore. But I'm
Yeah,
overall, like if somebody's reading ESV or
yeah,
like even reading that and knowing what it says, I'd still read it.
yeah. Right. But yeah, it's just so interesting to think like we said, like it's not like it can't change that much, but they've taken out things, and like we know who decided on our Bibles and what books are in it, so it's like they have a certain goal in mind when doing those things. And it's just interesting. Like, I don't know. I wish we could just have
Yeah,
the original Bible.
I know. I know. It does make you just like I don't know, it there's just so much I feel like by putting all these versions, which partly like in a sense it kind of had to be done because like we have to be able to understand and read too.
Mhm.
But it's just like it's no wonder there is some confusion because there are things that are like lost in translation, you know? So
Yeah,
it's
I
just it's
know.
kind of frustrating a little bit.
It
But
is.
like we said, at the end of the day, it's like that's the goodness of God is that he's preserved the most important part that's
Mhm.
necessary for salvation. And like that,
Yeah.
like no matter what version you're reading, Jesus died, rose again, took on our sins, you know, and conquered all that.
Mhm.
So it's not like that message has changed.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it just blew my mind. I was literally like, "Wait, what?"
I know. That
Because
is
then I
very
started
interesting.
questioning. I was like, "Wait, did I read this wrong the first time? Like, was
Mhm.
this what it said in my version?" And then when I went back and read mine, and then I read the KJV, I was just like, "Okay, something something is wrong here." But
But
I
I
guess
guess
that's
that's
all we
yeah.
have for this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see you,
I
everybody.
thought you were gonna say more. Okay,
I
bye.
got nothing.